Welcome to the Nursing Dose with your host, Dr. Farah Laurent. Today, I want to talk to you guys about a couple different ways that you can stand out as a new nurse in the interview process. I know many of you have graduated, maybe you've just passed your NCLEX, and now you're actively job searching and looking for ways to stand out in your next interview. Maybe you have a residency program that you're trying to get into, maybe you have an upcoming job fair or an upcoming virtual interview or a panel style interview, and you're super nervous, you're anxious, you're not sure what to expect. So, I'm going to break it down in this episode, and I'm going to give you three main tips on how to stand out in your next interview. And before I get into it, I'm going to have about the next 20 or 25 minutes to go through all of this. But if you want to dive deeper in more depth, I actually have a free webinar that I'm hosting tomorrow. If you want to know how to get into the webinar on TikTok and LinkedIn and on YouTube, if you look under the description, you'll see the link. It's newnursejob.com. You can go to the link in the bio and register now. It's happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST or 1 p.m. EST. And again, it's a free webinar. It's going to be live, hosted by me. You'll also have the opportunity to ask me questions directly. And for those who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Farah Laurent. I've been a nurse career coach for the last 5 years, and I've been a nurse for the last 20 years. Started out in emergency medicine, transitioned into education and leadership, and now I've helped over 200 new graduate nurses land their dream role in their preferred specialty areas like the ICU, the ED, labor and delivery, NICU, mother, baby, pediatrics, you name it. I've helped those nurses get into those specialty areas in competitive markets like New York City and San Francisco and all over really the US and Canada. So you don't want to miss this free webinar tomorrow. Go sign up for it now because there are limited spots. Once you sign up, you will get a Zoom link directly to your email. Click on that and add it to your calendar so that you don't miss out on this free webinar. It'll be live, hosted by me, and you'll have the opportunity to ask questions. And this is specifically for any senior nursing student or new graduate nurse that is looking to get hired faster in the preferred specialty. And most of my clients are getting hired in less than 90 days. So we're going to get into more details on how you can stand out in your interview tomorrow. But let's get into it right now. My very first tip is positioning and branding. That is how you will stand out. That's my first tip. So before you even get to the interview, it is very important that you start building a personal brand, right? What do I mean by that? That means whether it's online or in person, how you show up, your reputation matters. How can you build that personal brand? You can start by doing that on LinkedIn. If you are a current nursing student, new graduate nurse, and you are not on LinkedIn, I would highly recommend that you get yourself a LinkedIn account and you learn how to optimize that account. I'm going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow in this free webinar. The reason it's important to be on LinkedIn is because it's the number one platform for professionals. So there are a lot of hiring managers, a lot of recruiters, and that's where you can connect with them on LinkedIn in the DMs. You can also do posts that'll help you stand out before you get to the interview process. And why is that important? Because statistically, it's proven 95% of recruiters will actually check you out on LinkedIn before your interview. So whether you have a virtual interview, an in-person, the recruiter will go and check you out on LinkedIn. So if your LinkedIn is optimized, it's filled out, your About Me section is filled out, you have a photo, and better yet, you actually have a video, an introduction video that will help your chances, right, to stand out more. Because most new graduate nurses don't have an optimized profile and they don't have an introduction video. So for my clients, when they join my coaching program, And you'll learn more about this if you come to the free webinar tomorrow. Go sign up, newnursejob.com. Link is in the bio. You will learn about this LinkedIn video that I'm talking about, because actually many of my clients, most recently Joy, which was a nurse practitioner that I helped secure a remote position as a psych NP, she got hired, I believe it was 2 days after graduation. She posted the video. I helped her walk through the video of how to do the actual LinkedIn video. It got the attention of an employer that she wanted to work for. And right away, she secured an interview just from posting that LinkedIn video. Another client of mine, Jamie, was interested in labor and delivery, brand new nurse out of the San Francisco area, which is highly competitive. She wanted a job at El Camino Hospital, specifically in L&D. We worked on her video. She was hesitant to post it at first. She then posted it. The next day, she had a recruiter in her inbox asking her to apply to the nurse residency. I mean, we were already planning to apply to that one, but of course, it helped her stand out, and she was top of mind because no one had an introduction video, I'm sure of it. And it helped her secure that position, right? So that's what I mean by positioning and branding. So optimize a LinkedIn profile, make sure you have it, and you have to be active on that LinkedIn, okay? So that is your online presence, and also your in-person presence is important for your branding. So when I say the first tip is positioning and branding, that's what I'm talking about. Positioning yourself as the ideal candidate. How else can you do that? Through certifications and joining specific organizations. So I recently just helped a client land an emergency position, Savannah, in Northern California. She got a same-day offer in the ER. How did we position her to be a top candidate? She made sure that she got ACLS, BLS, PALS, the NIH stroke scale. She took an ECG monitoring, an EKG course. So on paper, she was positioned perfectly. And then when she got to the interview, we also worked obviously on her interview tips, her image, what she wore, how she spoke, and she was super confident in the interview. And that led her to secure an emergency position as a brand new nurse in the competitive area of San Francisco. So that's what I mean when I say positioning and branding. Make sure you have all the certifications. She also joined the ENA, which is the Emergency Nurses Association. Every specialty area that you're interested has an organization. So I strongly recommend that you join that organization. For anyone interested in women's health, it's AWHONN. For critical care, it's AACN, so on and so forth, okay? So that's step one for anyone watching. So if you are interested in joining this free webinar, let me know in the chat. Put dream role if you want to get your dream role as a new nurse. Let me see who is currently looking for their dream role. Drop it in the chat. What are you looking for? Is it the ICU, the ER, labor and delivery, pediatrics? I'd love to know. I'm curious to know. Drop it in the chat right now. Even if you're watching the replay, just drop it in there anyway. And then also let me know if you've signed up for this free webinar tomorrow. If you can't attend tomorrow's webinar, still sign up because you will get notified when the next one happens. And again, how do you sign up? You go to the link in the bio, newnursejob.com, to sign up for this free webinar. It's designed specifically for senior nursing students and new graduate nurses looking to get hired faster in their preferred specialty. You'll also get the opportunity to ask real-time questions to me, and we will go through the top reasons why most people don't get interviews, the top reasons why you're not moving on to getting an offer, to avoid the top 5 interview mistakes, okay? And then you'll also get an opportunity to learn how you can work with me. I have a couple spots left in my coaching program. If you're interested to learn more, definitely join that webinar. Okay, so if you're just joining, we're talking about the 3 tips to stand out in your next nursing interview. Tip number 1 was positioning and branding. So positioning yourself online using LinkedIn, positioning yourself in person when you do show up to the interview, make sure that you are dressed appropriately and that you actually stand out. Don't wear black, gray, or navy blue. Make sure that you literally stand out in what you're wearing. So I typically tell most of my clients to wear cobalt blue and wear something that makes you really confident and helps you stand out. I actually had Emily, one of my past clients, go to a job fair and she wore a cobalt blue suit. She was specifically wanting a NICU position. I helped her prep specifically for that job fair because a job fair interview versus a virtual interview versus in-person can be very different in terms of how you answer questions, the timing, all that is very different. So helped her. She was the only one that stood out because everybody in the job fair was literally just wearing black. So she texted me and she was laughing. She's like, I literally stand out because everyone's wearing a sea of black, right? So she did get a offer directly just from going to that job fair. Okay. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about branding. Also, the way you speak, the way you present yourself with confidence, and even what you wear. Okay. So it's very important. So that's number 1. Number 2 is confidence and competence. That will help you stand out. Most new nurses are nervous, anxious, not sure what to expect because nursing school does not prepare you for these types of interviews. So many of you, just resort to just Googling questions or asking AI, but you don't really know from beginning to end what to expect. You don't have all the confidence just yet because you're new, especially if you're applying to a critical care position like the ICU or the emergency room. I'm a former ER nurse and I started right in the ER. You are going to be asked a lot of clinical style questions. So if you're not prepared and you don't sound competent in the interview when they're asking you clinical style questions, you will automatically not move forward if they don't think that you can critically think, if they think that you don't know how to prioritize care. They will definitely give you some type of case study or a scenario and ask you what you should do. And if you don't get it correct, it's going to hurt your chances of moving forward in the interview process. And it can cost you getting your dream role, right? The other piece of it is confidence. Most people who get hired and move on to get the offer are the ones who can articulate their value and the ones who are most confident. So this is why it's very important in the beginning of your interview to be prepared, right? If you're not prepared, it's going to clearly show that you haven't prepared for the interview. If they ask you questions like, hey, tell me about yourself, which is probably the most commonly asked question, and you're rambling, you haven't prepared, you don't have a framework on how to answer that, you're not going to move on to the next phase and you will not get an offer. So that's what I mean when I talk about confidence and competence, okay? So you have to know what you're talking about in terms of clinical questions, and then you have to be very confident in your answers and even the way you present yourself, the tone, your language that you use, the words that you use. And then you have to have an interview pitch. If you want to learn more about this interview pitch, I'm going to be talking about it tomorrow in more depth and at length in this free webinar that I host. It's free and it's targeted specifically for new nurses and senior nursing students who are looking to get hired faster in their preferred specialty. How do you get in? There are limited spots, so go sign up now, newnursejob.com, or go to the link in the bio and click on it. Make sure that you receive the email and then save it to your calendar. You'll see the Zoom link. Once you put your name, email, and phone number, you'll receive the Zoom link so that you can show up tomorrow. It's happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then for those that are PST, it's happening at 10 a.m. PST. So go sign up for that free webinar now. Okay. Next, number 3. And again, if you're just joining, I am talking about the 3 ways that you can stand out as a brand new nurse in your next interview. Number 3 is effective communication and the ability to demonstrate your skills and abilities and strengths. What do I mean by that? You can simply list out skills or qualities of yourself or values, but what they want to see is actually proof, actual demonstrating what you've done in the form of storytelling, real stories in your clinical rotations that you've done. And if you can actually link it to the particular job that you're applying for, it makes more sense, right? For example, if you're applying for a critical care position like an ER and ICU, you should most likely take an example. Let's say they ask you, hey, can you tell me a time when you stayed calm during an emergency? What happened? What did you do? And what was your role during that emergency as part of the team? So number 1, you're going to have a story for that. It's going to have to be prepared before the interview, and you're going to have to tell it concisely, demonstrating what you did, the action you took, your strengths, and answer exactly what they're asking so that you can demonstrate your critical thinking skills, your assessment skills, and your ability to stay calm during an emergency. Okay, so these are the types of proof type questions that they want to know. And then also with the clinical style questions, they want to know your thought process and if you're ready to take on, a critical care position or whatever position you're applying for. All right, so in order to do that, you have to have effective and clear communication and answer exactly what their question is. So that's number 3. So like I said, storytelling is very important. We're going to go through some of this, like I said, in more detail and more depth tomorrow in the free webinar. It's called the New Nurse to Dream Role webinar. It's going to be live, hosted by me. It's about an hour long. So if you're interested to get more tips, more strategies on how to get hired faster, this is the webinar for you, especially if you're a new nurse that's been struggling to get interviews or, just struggling to even get an offer. It is for anybody that's in the US, Canada, UK, or Australia area. You're able to join this webinar. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to talk about 2 different ways that you can work with me if you are interested to learn more about my coaching program. I have limited spots. And if you do meet eligibility and criteria, we can talk about that at the end of the webinar. You also will have the opportunity to ask questions live during the webinar. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions now. I have about 2 to 3 minutes. Drop them in the chat. Even if you happen to be watching the replay, still go ahead and drop any comments or questions that you guys have. Let me know if you've signed up for the webinar. Let me know which specialty area you're interested in. Curious to know, drop it in the chat right now. Okay. And again, for those that just joined and you missed the beginning of this, you can always watch the replay on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And I'll quickly just recap it. Number 1, how to stand out in your interview is positioning and branding. Number 2 is confidence and competence. Number 3 is effective communication and demonstrating your skills and abilities with proof through storytelling. So you have to have a couple stories. I recommend at least 3 to 5 strong stories where you're highlighting you as an advocate, you as a strong critical thinker, good, having good assessment skills, being able to prioritize, and how you handle emergencies. You also probably want to have a story that's related to a patient experience, or maybe where a patient or family member was upset and how you turn that around using service recovery and like customer service skills. Um, and then above and beyond stories, another big one that they like to ask. So have a couple of those behavioral style stories, and then of course, knowing your clinical questions related to your specialty. So if you're applying for a telemetry role, they're going to ask you a lot of chest pain or cardiac type related, scenarios or case studies. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the chat if this was helpful. Again, free webinar I'm hosting tomorrow. The link is in the bio, newnursejob.com. You can click actually on LinkedIn. It's in the description. You can click there. It's also in the top of the profile. Same thing with TikTok, and Instagram should be there as well. All right. So let me know if you've joined the webinar. It's tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. PST, New Nurse to Dream role. Okay. So that's really it for today. I'll be going live again later this week and next week to drop more tips for the new nurses, because I know you've graduated and you're looking now to secure your dream role. And again, for those who are just joining, my name is Dr. Farah Lorette. Please join this webinar tomorrow. Follow me for more content on all the platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't checked it out yet. It's called The Nursing Dose with Farah. You can go and click on the video section, and I have specific videos on interviews, job search for new nurses. Okay. All right. So that's it. And I will see you